Hey, I'd forgotten about that new song that I put on there. That's right. That's the new John and Wendy show.
What a surprise.
Yeah, I did it after our last show because of the copyright issue that happened because the song we were using before, we had paid, or the person who had made our video, shout out to Tushka Productions, they had paid for a certain amount of time for us to use the song, but the last couple of shows, it had been coming up as copyrighted. And so I was like, all right, I better go find something free for us to use.
I see.
And so I have done so. But anyway, welcome everybody to the John and Wendy show, our first episode of 2023.
Yes.
I am one half of that equation. I am the outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by the great Wendy Lee Zaney. Wendy, how are you?
Hey, I'm so good. Glad to be back. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. Backstage, Rocha and I were talking about how we are the type of people who don't set New Year resolutions.
Yeah, not anymore.
No.
We don't see the logic.
When did you stop? When did you realize, meh?
I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I just was like, you know what? I'm tired of doing this cycle, because then you're like, yes, this year I'm going to do it. And I think I read something from some website, and it said actually the better route is to create a bunch of micro goals that you strive to achieve throughout the year. And then you might find by the end of the year, you've achieved the overall goal that you were trying to achieve, but focus on the micro goals as you matriculate the ball down the field, so to speak, and then you might score a touchdown by the end of the year. So that's how I've changed in my approach. You know, I have my ideas, I have my goals, overall goals for 2023, but I also have these smaller micro goals I'm trying to hit. What about you? When did you stop doing?
I think it was definitely after I moved to LA, so like post 2009, 2010. It was probably closer to like 2014, 2015, I think.
Wow.
When I was
there anything that happened that made you finally just be like, I'm done?
I just decided one year, because somebody was asking me, you know, kind of like a round table with friends hanging out. Oh, what's your New Year resolution? And I was like, I don't have one. And everybody else had named one, and I didn't have one or any. And then the person asked me was like, hey, you know, that's okay. Like, you don't have to. It's a made up thing.
Right.
There's no rule. And then in my brain, I'm like, it is a made up. I mean, if you do it, great for you. It's just not like a rule, a set of rules that you have to follow, or you're going to have a bad year. And the second I changed my mentality, kind of like how you did, I realized that I took a lot of pressure off myself, because I think for me, and kind of like my bubble and within my experience, a lot of people who like make a New Year's resolution would do it for like, I want to lose this X amount of weight by this X time, or I want to be able to, and like those are great goals, but I think that can be also really damaging to like, if you don't carefully plan it and you just like go for it. I think food and health, changing up your diet, you really need to do a little bit of research into it, so you don't like mess up your whole system and you end up in a worse place. And I think that's where a lot of people at the end of the year, like, I didn't do my New Year's resolution, I didn't fit into that dress or whatever. Many times I've done that to myself. And I'm like, why? So I stopped doing that and I started setting goals. And I realized, like, sometimes I don't achieve the goal, so I move it to the next year. I'm like, all right, this year I'll keep trying, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden you hit it, you're like, wait, oh my gosh. Just much easier of a mindset to live with.
It's 100% the truth. It's the thing when you look at it, because right in that moment, you absolutely believe what you're saying. You absolutely believe, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to put it together. I'm going to put it in motion. But then, you know, a week from now, you don't have that feeling anymore. And you're like beating yourself up because you can't find that feeling again, which is a great Barry Manilow song. And you can't dial back in. And so then you're beating yourself up. So it begins the cycle all over again. If you've got that mental health instinct in yourself to beat yourself up about the things that you don't accomplish or the things you don't do, then it just triggers that all over again. And you add that to a ball of stuff that it was already weighing down on you you're adding more weight to stuff weighing down on you. So it just becomes a repetitive or a vicious cycle rather that just repeats over and over again. And
Exactly.
that's the thing you want to get away from. I think you can make resolutions with the full understanding I might not be able to accomplish these, but this is something I want to focus on this year. And so
That's
I
it
think
right
that's
there.
the way to go about it, you know. And
Yeah.
you create the little micro goals and be forgiving with yourself, be patient with yourself. This is something my girlfriend constantly harps on me about because she says I'm way too hard on myself. And she's like,
You are very hard on yourself.
she said you need to just appreciate
Dial it back a little.
Yeah, that's what she says. So but yeah, so these are the things that I'm working on for 2023. I am back to working out. I've been doing it for 2 weeks straight now. It isn't because of resolutions or whatever, it's just kind of the time.
Yeah.
And so I bought a Bowflex thing. I put it on credit. And I was like, I'm going to pay it off in a year. But
Good for
in the year that
you.
I want to really be using this thing. And it's great. It's a really nice elliptical machine that works so well. It's more my style than the rowing machine. And so that's been much more effective for me than what I had before. So slowly but surely getting back into it and also being patient. Like, if I'm feeling really wrecked, I'm not going to do it. The next day I'll do it. And it's just those kinds of things where you make the deals with yourself and be okay with it. That's the biggest part of life, is forgiving yourself. I really think it's essential.
That can be one of your micro goals this year.
Yeah.
Because you are really not. You are so unkind to yourself. And I speak from personal experience, the things that you and I have talked about.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I thought I was hard on myself. And then I met Rocha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, oh, all of a sudden I felt not so bad about my outlooks.
It's true. It's true. But I'm working on it, Dan.
Yes, that's good.
We shall see. All right. So we're going to get into so many things here. It's the first episode of 2023. There's so much to talk about. We had a bunch of breaking news drop today that we're going to talk about first off, and then we're going to get into some news about Jeremy Renner, the new update with him. We're going to talk about Dave Bautista's comments about leaving the MCU, leaving Drax behind, Colin Farrell's comments about the Penguin. These are all new stuff that popped up over the last couple of days. We've got a Renfield trailer to discuss. Nicolas Cage talking about his future as Spider-Man Noir. Miguel Sapochnik leaving House of the Dragon and the drama with all that. And we've got some Kpop news as well coming up, and a little news about our old stomping grounds at Universal Studios Hollywood that we're going to get into the whole time. And we're going to have our recommendations and what's coming soon here in film and television for you all at the end of the show. So just sit back, strap in, relax. Let's have some fun. It's Friday. And if you want to send in some support, the Streamlabs address is right there on the screen. I'm going to put it in the chat in just a second. And it's also in the description of the video. So, hey, it's the first episode of 2023. Send us some love, send us some support, and let's have some fun today for sure. All right, let's hit some of these breaking news here.
News, baby.
Wendy, breaking. I know I need to create one for that. First, if you're watching,
like a pal,
a quick breaking news video for us we can use. But yeah, breaking news here. The first one I'll start off is Wednesday. Wednesday has been approved for a season 2. A lot of people love Jenna Ortega in this series on Netflix. A lot of people enjoyed what they got from it, and certainly it had very high viewership numbers. Netflix rarely releases viewership numbers, Wendy, but they absolutely were quite happy to talk about this one. And so no surprise at all. It is renewed for a season 2. Nevermore Academy. Here we go again. And there were some, issues with the show in that we didn't see a lot of the family. So will we see more of the family in season 2?
Oh, good point.
Will there be pressure to come up with a new TikTok dance that everyone is doing? All this stuff that's happening. And will we get more of some of the characters that we saw in the first season, expanding the roles out? And what new characters will we see? So what do you think about this, that Wednesday is being renewed for a second season?
Well, I'm just glad that Netflix can finally recognize that one of their shows is a success and not cutting it off after season 1. Are
you making an 1899 reference? What are you?
Oh my god, just a bunch of shows, man.
That's true.
Yeah, but believe it or not, I actually have not watched Wednesday because I'm supposed to react to it, so I haven't watched it. I have seen the TikTok dance because it's right. I can't go on TikTok without it showing up at least once on my For You page.
Yeah.
so I have seen bits and pieces of it. I actually haven't seen the whole thing. But I'm not surprised. I just hope that they're doing it because I've said this before about their shows, that they're not just like, oh, it's successful and it's trendy.
Yeah.
Right. across all the social medias. And we're going to do it because of that and not really because they have any more story to tell. So, and this again is
Right.
coming from someone who hadn't seen an episode. So I don't know where they left off. If it feels like there's more story to tell, great.
Yeah.
I like what you said about not really seeing the family in this one, which kind of makes sense in a little bit of a way because she's off at the academy. So it
Right.
doesn't make sense for her parents and her fam to be in every single episode, but
It's
maybe we
true.
get a little bit more. Maybe that's what season 2 is going to be. A little bit
Yeah.
more of the family dynamic. You know, we
Yeah.
had to establish Wednesday and where she is in her life right now. And then we can move into that.
Right, with Catherine Zeta-Jones and Luis Guzman. And apparently I saw this last night, there's a social media war waging between Oscar Isaac's Gomez and Luis Guzman's Gomez, and the battle lines have been drawn very firmly. With the people who support Luis Guzman, they say Oscar Isaac is too attractive to play Gomez. Gomez is not supposed to look attractive if you see the original drawings of the cartoon that's based on this series. And then other people are like, no, there's a charm and debonairness to Gomez that John Astin had when he did it in the 1960s in that TV series. So the question then becomes like, well, which Gomez do you prefer? And I'm more like, look, I'm just happy we got 2 Latino guys to play Gomez. So what's the art? Stop arguing and just enjoy the fact that we have this. So,
let's celebrate it.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, people got to fight. People got to fight.
It's how it is these days.
Exactly. As Ken Watanabe said, let them fight. All right, let's move on to some other news here. And that is Gladiator 2 is happening. The sequel to Gladiator 2 is happening. And they have picked a lead actor for the film. It is Paul Mescal, who you see here on your screens there. He is he was in After Sun, which is a film from 2022 that came out a few weeks ago. Normal People, he is part of that series as well, and he has been selected as the star of the film. He won't be playing Maximus because of course you know how Maximus ended up, but he will play Lucius, the son of Lucilla. That's Connie Nielsen's character. So the little kid who had the connection with Maximus throughout the movie, that's who Paul Mescal is going to play as a grown-up in this sequel to Gladiator. I mean, I myself was not looking forward to a sequel with Gladiator because I'm like, why would you? It's like Titanic 2. We know what happened. What's the rush? But he is putting this together. Ridley Scott. He's going to produce it along with Scott Free president Michael Pruss, Red Wagon Entertainment's Doug Wick, and Lucy Fisher. David Scarpa wrote the screenplay. Paramount's going to produce the film. Universal, which backed the first movie, has the right to co-produce the movie where it has been set up. And Mescal has been garnering some Oscar buzz for his work in After Sun as a troubled father. And he earned an Emmy nomination for his work in Normal People, which I clearly need to watch because a lot of people I know are in that I see in other things that I enjoyed. And he's also going to be appearing in a new film called Strangers with Andrew Scott and Claire Foy, and Garth Davis's Foe with Saoirse Ronan. So there you go. And, you know, this is going to be a bit because Ridley Scott's directed Napoleon first with Joaquin Phoenix, but then eventually we'll swing that around. So your thoughts on this? I mean, it's a good-looking kid, young kid, certainly kind of looks like the kid we saw in the first Gladiator movie. So do you like that they're continuing this story? Because in real life, Joaquin Phoenix's character does not die in the arena. He actually lives for quite some time. So what do you think about this?
I feel like I want to trust in Ridley Scott and whatever vision he has for this sequel. It's also been like a really long time since I've watched Gladiator. How many years do we know?
It came out in 2000. So it's 22 years old. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I am kind of curious. I am kind of curious that he after 20 something years, so he's like, let's go Gladiator 2. Like, it's been a while, but Gladiator is one of those movies that like you know, for us it was everybody talked about it, but I think I wonder now how it'll be perceived that we have these like, what are they called, like Sandal and Shield or whatever those kind of movies.
Sword and Sandal epics.
Yes, exactly. I don't feel like we've gotten too many of those recently. So it may be a good time for him to start creating and putting this in development. And then this will probably launch us into that trend of like, Gladiator 2 is coming back, we got to cash grab it. Right. And then everybody puts out some sort of like a Gladiator type.
Gladiator 2 dance. That'll be a Gladiator 2 dance.
No,
I don't see that
do
happening as well.
Don't do it.
But I like that story. I like that. I like that it's going forward. I like this guy as the lead here, considering some of the buzz around him. So these are all positive things, and hopefully that's. We'll see what the story is going to be told. We'll see if Connie Nielsen comes back, or she lives at the end of Gladiator. So what role will she have to play in all of this?
She could come back.
Right? I mean, she's still clearly acting. She was just in the Wonder Woman series, so why wouldn't she
looks
be
good
able to?
too, so
Yeah, she looks fantastic.
I don't know why she wouldn't want to come back.
I agree with you.
If they offer. I also like that, like, I'm not saying he's inexperienced because he's obviously a good actor.
Yeah.
If you look at, the awards and nominations that he has under his belt already.
Yeah.
But he's essentially, to me, like, I don't really know much of his work, so I'm kind of excited that they didn't just go for like a
big name.
Yeah. I like that.
Like Chalamet or something.
Correct.
Right.
Chalamet wouldn't be a fit. He's great. I just don't see him he's too busy doing Dune. Another movie with sand.
That's true. That's a massive movie for sure. I agree.
A lot of sand in that one.
All right. Yeah. So, and let's move on to this other story here, and we'll keep tabs on that one, obviously, as it goes along. But this is the big breaking news that came up earlier this morning. James Gunn, who you cannot keep off Twitter for some reason, he is teasing that he has written he tweeted, I wrote 1/3 of an unannounced DC TV show. Let me say that again. He has tweeted that he wrote 1/3 of an unannounced DC TV show. No one is saying what this show is. And they're not saying anything about what it will focus on, because Gunn and Safran have still to release their plan of what they're going to do here. Of course, it's supposed to be an 8 to 10 year plan. Then we're hearing rumors that what they're going to release is going to be only a 3-year plan for now, but hopefully gets to 10 years. We shall see. So this is very interesting that he's written 1/3 of an unannounced TV show. He's okayed 100 VFX shots, did reference acting for Rocket, and gave editing notes for Volume 3, and had 2 big studio meetings. So just like a YouTuber, he's out of here bragging about his day. So this is a fascinating situation to look at here on the heels of everything that's happened. So what do you think about this, that he would tweet out this, and what show do you think he probably worked on? What do you think?
I think that's a part of James Gunn keeping the fans a little bit in the know.
Yeah.
But doing it vaguely. And of course, I'm sure the studio, I mean, there's no one above him, so he can say whatever he wants. But it's kind of nice. I do wonder what kind of show it's going to be. Like, could it I mean, it can't be Peacemaker 2.
Yeah, no, because that's pretty much on the table. That wouldn't seem.
Yeah, I assume it's like a property that no one was aware of, but we know it's got to be DC related. So you got to. Well, okay, wasn't there? And I don't think he's writing it, but there was, and we have this story later on in our show too. But there's the Colin Farrell Penguin spinoff series,
right?
But I don't think he's writing that one. That doesn't sound like
because that
something
one's
James Gunn would want to do.
Yeah, and that one's already in motion. So
it could be a brand new superhero.
Oh,
somebody else from the Suicide Squad,
like brand new, or do you mean like
brand new to the DCEU as of
yet? Wow, so like from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, they want to reset the whole thing, right? So
okay, I could maybe see that.
I'm trying to think what character he would want to write about, because I think he enjoys the comedy.
Right.
So I'm trying to think of what chaotic comedic character that he could put a chaotic and comedic spin on.
Yeah, he does like to have that little sarcasm. With his stuff.
Right.
I mean,
I want to say Harley, but could it? Would Margot do a Harley TV show?
I think she would do a Harley TV show, but I don't know right now with all her schedule and everything she's got if there's space for it as well. So
we don't even know what else she's got booked on. Barbie's coming out, but I think that's essentially almost done.
Yeah.
And if not done shooting already. Babylon, it's already out.
Yeah, kind of out and gone already. Yeah.
So she's not doing press for that anymore. So it's whatever next, but that could be it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. A lot of questions. I mean, I think there's a lot of ways you can go because there are many DC characters that can play that kind of middle ground of humor and high stakes.
Yeah.
So it all depends on what.
What if it's the Nathan Fillion character? Oh, but he didn't
Oh
really
my God,
survive.
that
He
would
didn't
be,
survive Suicide Squad, so never mind.
yeah. Neither did Javelin, the guy with the javelin.
Could it be the Weasel?
The Weasel. Holy shit. I think that's very possible that he
That
could
would
make
be a
the
fun
Weasel
one. That would be a really fun
Oh
one.
my
Just the
God.
adventures of the Weasel.
Oh my God. That's actually genius. I didn't even think about that. Because I mean, we could have gone with Polka Dot Man, but we know what happened to him at the end.
Yeah,
of the
I
season.
love Polka Dot Man.
But the Weasel.
The Weasel.
I love this idea.
Survived, right?
Him
Wait,
and
did he
his-
survive?
I think he did survive. Yeah, remember because he's like right at the end. Not maybe in one of the post-credit scenes, he kind of pops up and is moving around and stuff.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I could actually see the Weasel.
Huh?
And you keep it in house. It's his brother. I just think that makes a lot of sense, to be honest with you. So I could see that happening. I absolutely could see that happening.
That'd be so funny.
Well, it could be the Weasel. I mean, he turned. Yeah, Booster Gold is a great suggestion as well. If they do, right? I mean, that's like that seems to write itself. Booster being a guy who's trying to do well, but also gets caught up with, wanted to be with the ladies, caught up with the money. Oh, well, we lost Wendy there. The Elgato has come on.
Oh no.
I can't see.
Can you hear me still at least?
We can't hear you. Yeah, I think you went. I think the Booster Gold thing made you crazy. So
Oh God.
there we go.
Hang on.
But Booster Gold is a nice suggestion from Jeremy Miller. I'd forgotten about Booster because there was rumors about Booster maybe being introduced in the Blue Beetle film because, of course, Blue Beetle and Booster Gold are a very strong relationship. And if you've ever watched or read Justice League International from J.M. DeMatteis, or DeMatteis, rather, James DeMatteis, that's a big part of the storylines there on there. So it could be very, very interesting. So
it's coming back. Slowly but surely, it's coming back.
Is it? Okay.
We'll see. But, I got a brand new camera, which I love, but
yeah, look at that thing.
There's like a situation that's happening here.
I got a brand new camera.
There
we go. Bang.
Nice. All right.
See you wearing the white noise sweatshirt. Respect your little AMP sweatshirt. Yeah.
It's got all the stuff on the back. I can't turn around.
All that writing. Look at that.
It's on Netflix if you guys want to watch it.
It is. There's a lot of good stuff there. Oh, I need to post a picture of all the stuff they sent me. Oh, well, I keep forgetting. I'll do it tomorrow morning. Anyway, yeah, I could see Booster Gold. That would be perfect. I think because he's sarcastic. He's trying to do good. He always gets caught up in stuff. But he's not as like R-rated as Peacemaker. So it could be a nice change of pace for Gunn. But look, I mean, looking at this, he's writing the Superman film and he's writing this show. So Feige doesn't write this stuff. So my mind is like, what's the deal here? What did they negotiate with Gunn?
Right.
Because it seems odd to me that he's not giving these opportunities to people he's hiring. He's kind of taking the first stab at both things in the universe of film and TV show in his universe. That seems odd, Wendy. What do you think about that?
It is interesting. I feel like, and I know we have some super chats we have to get to. I'm so sorry. Yes. JMB has one that from way a little while ago. So we'll get to that right after this.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know. It's because he's just updating just very vaguely to keep the fans satisfied.
Yes.
Other than because I'm sure his mentions like RIP, right? It's like, what are you doing? Or you're not fit for the job. I'm sure they're telling him that too. I'm excited to see what he can bring to DC. I really am.
Me too.
So like the tweets, to me, it's just a tweet. Like it's something to get excited over, but it's nothing to hold our breath for until they're really ready to announce.
Yeah.
But Booster Gold, it's possible. We've been I feel like that and Blue Beetle have been up for discussion for such a long time.
Right.
For years. And now we're finally going to get the live action Blue Beetle movie. So Booster Gold is actually very possible. I like that better than my Weasel idea.
Done and done. Done and done.
Yes.
But I agree with you. I mean, I'm excited to see what he's going to do. I mean,
Mhm.
he's got the right sensibility. I wish he'd stay off Twitter, but I get that he wants to approach it from a way of having his foot half in the fandom and half in his executive
Yes.
job in control of stuff.
Yes.
So I understand that, but I do think it's like if you saw George R. R. Martin on Twitter, wouldn't you be like, get the fuck back in the room and write the damn book? Yeah, I would have issues with that. So if James, I would just like, I said this last night on Hot Mic, just let him go into his kitchen and let him cook these scripts and these movies and these plans. Stop rushing to want to get all this information. Let him tell you when he's ready to tell you.
Let the man work.
Yeah, exactly. Let the man work.
He's trying to be the CEO, the co-CEO of DC, writer, producer, director, and PR. Yeah. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot. He's I know he's passionate about it, but it's a lot for him. And
fair enough. All right. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens for sure. We'll see what happens. Let's hit these super chats real quick. JMB saying, there you go. What are your dark horse shows or movies that may not be on a lot of people's radars you're looking forward to? Thanks, John and Wendy.
Ooh.
Dark horse movies and TV shows?
So, kind of like something that's like lesser known.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I don't know if they're lesser known.
Okay.
But there is it's going to be on AMC Plus. Okay. It's Anne Rice, Mayfair Witches. Yes.
Yeah, Mayfair Witches, yeah.
Yeah. Alexandra Daddario is in it. So and it's witches and Anne Rice. And I was like, well, I'm sold.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know if it's Dark Horse though.
I mean, not many people are talking about that one. And because it's AMC Plus, I don't see too many people go over to AMC Plus and watch the stuff there. So, because I mean, Gangs of London is such a good show on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dark Winds was a fantastic show on there. And there's a few things that have been in there, but I don't know if Mayfair Witches is getting the same kind of, attention that other ones are. So we'll see. I mean, I know the new one that's coming at the end of the month with Natasha Lyonne as the detective there. I'm looking forward to that one. What was that one called? Like Heart or something like that. I just started Will Trent, which no one seems to be talking about.
I don't know Hulu. What that one is.
Yeah, that one stars Ramon Rodriguez. He is the lead in that. And he was on The Wire for a season, and his boss is the actress who played Kima on The Wire for all 5 seasons. And the first episode deals with my guy from Saved by the Bell, Mark Paul Gosselaar, and an affair he's having. Jennifer Goodwin is in the first episode, so or Jennifer Morrison, I think. But yeah, that's one I'm looking at. There's the Velma one on HBO Max.
Yes.
That I'm kind of curious about to see what we're going to see.
That's the Mindy Kaling one.
Yes, the Mindy Kaling one. Is it going to be any good or not? I don't know. I'm kind of up in the air about it right now. Mm-hmm. What else? I don't know if there's anything else that's jumping.
Have you heard of Wolfpack?
No. What is that? Wolfpack.
That is Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to be in it.
Oh.
And it's supernatural. So it follows the story of teenagers, Everett and Blake. Yeah. And this is during like a California wildfire. So you know how we feel about that because we're in California and wildfires are very real. But that wildfire awakens a terrifying creature.
Whew.
And that is going to be, I'm guessing, the wolf. So it's not like people are thinking like, oh, Teen Wolf or whatever. It's not going to be like that. And Sarah Michelle Gellar's character is going to be an arson investigator.
Oh, wow.
Okay. I'm excited to just see her back, in kind of that supernatural world.
Yeah.
Because I loved her as Buffy. And just to get another show that does like right now, I feel like the way I'm watching shows is kind of like I'm watching all the ones that have existed already and like their consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to also find new shows to watch.
Right.
And ones that are a little bit lesser known, like because everybody's super excited about, The Last of Us, for example. So I wouldn't call that one like a dark horse, but I think Wolfpack is maybe something that could be good.
Well, there's a one that's coming called Mrs. Davis on Peacock.
Uh-huh.
It's Damon Lindelof and Tara Hernandez who created the show. Betty Gilpin from Glow is the lead. It's an
Ooh.
8-episode drama, and she plays a nun named Simone who is going up against an all-powerful artificial intelligence known as Mrs. Davis. So that's coming out in April. So I'm kind of excited for that one because I like Betty. I like obviously Damon Lindelof and Tara Hernandez.
Yep.
And the idea of a nun going toe-to-toe with an AI.
What an interesting face-off. Like what?
Yeah, right?
Wow.
So
okay.
I'm kind of interested to see what we're going to get there for sure. Let's see if we got another one here. He also said somehow Maximus has returned. Well, no, not really. He's still dead.
Watch they do it somehow.
In spirit, maybe.
No, they won't. Yeah.
Galliot says, production says it's probably Booster Gold or Amanda Waller. I don't think it would be Amanda Waller. I don't know if he would necessarily do that with Amanda Waller, a series. It doesn't strike me as, I don't think Viola Davis would do an Amanda Waller series. That's my honest opinion. Not after Woman King. Like, no way. All right. And we got a big one here. Thank you, John.
Oh, John.
He says, first time catch you guys live. Love you, but John, if you misspell my last name, you have to give back the $50. LOL. Okay. I won't misspell your last name, John. SPILIOTOPOULOS. I spelled it correctly. Now, you probably tried to say if you mispronounce my last name, but I got you on a technicality because what you said was misspell, not misstate.
Sounds like Schmodown all of a sudden. What's happening?
Yeah. But Spiliotopoulos is what I'm going to guess it is. So there you go, John. So there you go. But I got you on the technicality. I got you on the technicality.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you, John. And please let John serve as an example. If any of you want to send in stuff.
Oh my God, stop that.
It would be very nice. So there you go. Throw it out. Travis Earl donated. Travis, there was nothing, no message here. So just thank you, brother. Always good to see you on here.
Yeah.
And thank you to everybody who's catching us live for the first time here. You know, we're doing the show into 2023. We've moved off of Twitch and moved back onto YouTube as we want to just kind of enjoy it here a little bit more. All right, Wendy, I think that's all the breaking news stuff and everything. So let's take a quick break and then we'll jump into our opening topics 30 minutes into the show.
Naturally.
All right. What do we got here, Wendy? What do we got for topics?
Well, let's talk about a little bit of update for Mr. Jeremy Renner, Mr. Hawkeye over there, who had a terrible accident with the snowplow, but he took to his own social media to update everybody. Wasn't able to type, obviously, because he's still recovering and from a lot of the injury. But he is seemingly okay, definitely out of the critical condition portion of it. He's stable. He's had 2 surgeries. And have you read the reports on this? How it's crazy, right?
Yeah, he was just trying to he had let one of his family members borrow his car. They got stuck because Nevada had like 3 or 4 feet of snow. So he pulled out his 14,300 pound snowblower and drove out there to get them out of the snowdrift that they were in, got the car out. They started driving and then they stopped and he got out of the snowblower to go talk to his family member and make sure they're okay. The snowblower starts to go down the hill. So he runs after the snowblower. And apparently as it started to go down, he got caught under it and it ran him over. So, I mean, that's 14,300 pounds. I don't know how much of it caught him, but clearly enough of it caught him that you see in the picture that he's pretty messed up. There. And he also issued a video yesterday where I think his wife or his sister is giving him a head massage.
Yeah, I think it's his family members.
Yeah, and he seems to be in good spirits, Wendy. So I hope we don't hear that he's got permanent physical damage or anything. So
I mean, just to think about the size of and the weight of a machine like that snowplow that was pictured running over someone, like the fact that he survived it.
Yeah.
is already a huge thing. I think it was really, really fantastic and very lucky that his neighbor, who happens to be a doctor, was able to be there
Yes.
to help tourniquet, because that probably helped a lot. Because from the reports I was reading, that he was losing a lot of blood.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and he had to be airlifted and everything. So I'm just happy that he was able to get treatment as quickly as possible and is able to recover. And hopefully now he can just rest and relax and heal, because that is insane.
Yeah.
It's always like these crazy accidents. You know what I'm saying? You hear about
Oh yeah.
like horrible tragedies and you're just like, how does that like
Anton Yelchin? How do you get run over by your own car
he was
in your
such
own
a nice
house in your own
person.
driveway? Yeah.
He was like, oh, it's terrible. That's a
Yeah.
terrible thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I think JMB is right. The only way I can imagine he survived was that it was fresh or deep snow, so that it pressed him into the snow rather than
Instead of
crushed him against pavement or road. That's
oh.
100% correct. That's 100% correct.
Yeah.
Because it would 3 to 4 feet of new snow had fallen.
He could just
Right.
underneath
So
instead
he
of
clearly was run over by it, but he
Right.
wasn't pressed into the ground, or else he would have died. The human body cannot withstand 14,000.
No, that's a lot. That's
So
yeah. Wow.
hopefully, he rehabs and he comes back better than ever.
Yes. So that is the update. Before we move on to the next
Yep.
topic, John says USOB and LOL. By the way, you said it correctly.
Nice. Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you,
Thank you, John.
And I love that you have the 300 poster right behind you. I love that.
This is Sparta. Sorry. All right, let's talk about a fun little trailer that came out yesterday.
Yeah.
With not one but two Nicks, Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. Aquafina's in this. Ben Schwartz is in this. It's called Renfield.
Yeah.
We've got Nicolas Cage, who is going to play Dracula in this, and I think he probably had the time of his life
I imagine
on this set.
Yeah.
Like the dramatic turn when it was revealed that he is, I mean, everybody knew, but like, his first time on screen in that trailer, and he was midair, elevated, levitating, as vampires do, and does the turn, the slow, like, I'm Dracula. I was like, it's so dramatic. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a story about Renfield, who serves as I guess kind of like a servant, sort of a person.
Yeah, Renfield is in service of Dracula. Yeah,
and he is supposed to do anything and everything, but one of those tasks is to find Dracula's next meal, i.e. victim. But something goes awry during one of the outings, I guess, that he was on his mission to look for his next meal, Dracula's next meal, when they were getting like the bar, I think it was getting robbed.
Yeah.
So then we find out that in order to do this job, Dracula's gifted him some special treats, a little bit of power. So then now he's like super powerful and his eyes glow yellow. So that's interesting. What I like most about this trailer, though, was that they set it up and he's like, I am in this toxic work relationship. And it's just so funny. And it's giving what we do in the shadows.
Yeah, that vibe. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And it's great.
I did the trailer reaction earlier today. I haven't put it up yet. I'll put it up probably a little bit later after the show. But I had a really good time with this one. I really did. I mean, I couldn't do it yesterday because I was recording nonstop, like 5 shows yesterday, actually, back to back. And so I didn't have time. So I was like, I'll do it this afternoon and then I'll put it up after the show. But like, I thought it was really funny. It absolutely captured the right tongue-in-cheek approach to this.
Mm-hmm.
The toxic relationship stuff is hilarious. The way it's shot with that kind of green, dark vibe to it all, so it's almost neon-esque in certain moments. The fact that they're wearing the people robbing the bar are wearing these kind of scarecrow hoods, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
But then the twist that, because Renfield is known in the book, in the original book, for eating insects. That's kind of his thing. Once he becomes betrothed to Dracula, he eats insects and things of that nature because he's essentially a familiar, like Guillermo. And so the fact that he gets superpowers, that he's given him these special instincts that give him superpowers, that's an awesome twist. So how is that all going to work? And then seeing Cage rise above everybody at the group meeting, and they're all just like, it's brilliant. So I think this is the right kind of movie that understands how to put Nick Cage's Dracula in a movie, and make it work. And shout out to Nicholas Hoult for agreeing to do this, because it's a nice change of pace for him to take on.
Did it not give you Warm Bodies?
Yes, and which was a while ago, right? So, which was
that was
also a bit of
the first time I ever, like, I think, heard or saw any of his work. That was one of the first movies. I was like, "Who's this guy?"
Right. Well, you saw About a Boy, right? Or did you see that afterwards?
Oh, wait, was that first? Maybe I saw that first.
Yeah, he's the young
Maybe
kid.
I did see that first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, he's so good in Warm Bodies. Well, here's another, like he did with the zombie stuff, which had a little bit of humor to it. Here's a black comedy with Dracula. So smart. All he's got to do is hit the werewolf one, and he's hit the triple. He's hit the triumvirate there. He's knocked them all out, or a Frankenstein comedy, I guess, would be possible. But yeah, I like it. It's a nice vibe.
Yeah,
sure.
It's going to be a fun one to watch for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of Nicolas Cage, it looks like he will not be returning to voice the Spider-Man Noir.
Spider-Man Noir, yeah.
Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, which doesn't make sense to me because they're having all these. Is it because they got too much?
Maybe
Spider-Man variants and various characters.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen the trailer, right, Wendy? There's a lot of Spider people in that trailer.
So many.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is when it would make sense to bring someone like that back, especially from the first movie. And I was so surprised to see Spider-Man Noir that I was like, oh, can we get more?
Yeah.
But I guess we're not going to.
No, he said, it was an interview with Screen Rant. He said, you have to ask Sony about it. I don't know what's going on with that. No one spoke to me about that. Ask them. I don't know. I really don't. I wish they would. I love Spider-Man Noir too. I think that's a great character. Spider-Man's the coolest superhero. And then you combine that with Cagney and Bogart and Edward G. Robinson. Come on. It's a great character. So I don't know. I don't know why they're not using him. Maybe they're going.
They have bigger plans for the next one.
Yeah. Maybe they're focusing more on Spider-Man 2099 and having that interaction with Spider-Man, and didn't want to get it convoluted with it, because I imagine all the other ones are not coming back then if Noir's not coming back.
I think just the Peter Parker character and Spider-Gwen. Right.
But not anime Spider Girl, I guess I would say. And who was the other one that was part of this?
The Spider-Pig was there.
Oh, yeah, Spider-Ham. I don't think Spider-Ham's going to come back either. So we haven't seen it.
I said Spider-Pig because I started thinking about the Homer Simpson song.
Spider-Pig. Right. Spider-Ham, Penny Parker, and Spider-Man Noir were not in the trailer, so I imagine they won't be coming back here in this. But it doesn't mean they can't come back in the future.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't. I don't think it's going to take away from the whole story.
Yeah.
And they could come back in the next one, or they could just not. They could just keep moving on.
Yeah, they could. That's certainly possible. Because there are certainly a wealth of Spider characters to introduce, as those trailers have shown us already. Yes. Thank you to Suthius for the super sticker. Thank you, Suthius. Very kind of you, man.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to our next thing. What's our next thing here, Wendy?
Well, James Gunn's very busy doing all the things, including finishing off Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is set to come out this year. So we got a little bit of news, not on James Gunn, but on Dave Bautista, who plays, everybody knows him as Drax. And this is from a article on Variety where Dave Bautista talks about his exit, and he's calling it a relief because playing silly Drax, his words, not mine, wasn't all pleasant. And I don't know if I want Drax to be my legacy. Are you surprised at all to hear this kind of sentiment from him?
Yes and no. And let me explain why I say both. Because yes, I'm surprised because most actors aren't going to shit on the thing that kind of put them on the map, and Drax put him on the map.
Right.
But no, because Dave's always been one to speak his mind. In recent interviews, he's come after The Rock for some of the stuff The Rock has done.
What? Really?
Yeah. And so he's spoken very clearly about who he is. And look, he's ruffled feathers, but he's also a man of principle. He stands for what he stands for, whether you like it or not. And And the WWE, he ruffled feathers, but he was also very well liked by certain people in power. When that whole thing happened with James Gunn, remember he was one of the first
He was
people
the first
that was defending James, would not let it go, said he was not going to come back unless it was James. So he was one of the first people to come out and be very clear about where he stood on the whole situation. So, he's very opinionated, but not in an overt way. But he's also incredibly kind. He's also very cool with people. He's also gives a lot of his time to charities and stuff. So, he's just got a point of view. And the way he talks about Drax is, it's a silly character. It's not that challenging for me. And he's speaking about it from an actor's point of view. That for me, that character, it's not that challenging. It's fun. He's goofy. He's comedic relief.
Yes.
Even in the holiday special, even though he's essentially the co-lead, it's really Mantis who you're focusing on. So he knows the kind of character he is. So for him, it's not challenging enough. So that's why I don't fault him for saying the things he's saying, even though I think any other actor might get in trouble for saying this kind of stuff. I think people know who Bautista is by now.
I think also with him, this remark, he doesn't mean it to be offensive or like ungrateful. I think him and James Gunn, especially, you had just talked about how he, was really, one of the first ones to defend James Gunn when he was fired over the controversy. That James is not going to be surprised or offended by these remarks because they've already talked about it.
Yeah.
They've already talked about it. I feel like the reason why that entire cast really came in and supported and got behind James Gunn was because he's the type of director that will sit there and listen to your concerns and like know when to be a friend and when to be a director, right? That's the vibe that I'm getting. I'm not saying this from like firsthand, but that's what I can tell when an entire cast of people who have worked with many other creative types in the industry will say, no, we're behind James. No more Guardians unless he comes back.
Right.
So, and I get it with Dave Bautista. Yeah, that put him on the map. But you're right. It's a one-note character. He's fun. But do you want to be doing that forever when right now he has the opportunities? He doesn't have to audition.
Yeah.
He just gets scripts and offers, like I remember I was really excited that he got to be Inspector.
Yes. Oh my God, it was great.
That was a huge get for him. And then he got to work with Zack Snyder.
Right.
For so like there's just flexibility to him, and I think he's going to continue and grow as an actor, and he can't do that if he just stays being Drax, because it just takes time. And he also talked about in the report, he also talks about the makeup procedure, which the process, it's a full body makeup, and that's like his whole upper body that they have to make up. It's a long time, and it's sure 1 day, 2 day, like I've seen for example, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, people getting put on like a lot of makeup, but you're only doing it for a month, and by the end of the month you're over it.
Right.
By week 2 I'm over it. I'm like, oh my God, your skin can't take it. And for him, that's months and months of this, and it's got to look good. So he's probably sitting in that chair for 4 hours.
Right.
And eventually it's going to get to you.
Plus you're shirtless the whole time. So there's the pressure to keep lifting, and he's not a young man. So, there's that pressure. Like with Hugh Jackman, he talked about like getting back in shape for Wolverine is always a bear to him, because it's just like it's harder and harder every time as he gets older and older, So, but also the other side of this is in the report or in this interview, he talks about how, they reference the interview he did with Collider in 2021, where he mentioned that he thought Marvel dropped the ball with his backstory, with Drax's backstory. And he said, I think there was a lot to explore there, but Marvel didn't want to explore it. Marvel didn't want to pursue it. And he said, no offense to Marvel, but that would have kept me around. That would have gotten me more excited to play the role. That would have meant something.
I feel like everybody else got a backstory other than Drax.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we
think
didn't
about
explore.
it. Yeah, Nebula got a really nice arc.
Right.
Rocket.
Yeah.
Mantis just got hers via a holiday special.
Yeah, and we'll certainly see Rocket's even more so in the new one.
Yeah, well, this is like his. I'm gonna bring tissues to that movie. But yeah, so I understand the want for him to move on and do other things.
Yeah, he says he wants to be an
Sure.
actor. He's like, I don't want to be a movie star. I'm an actor. I live in
Yeah.
Tampa. I don't live in LA and New York, and I don't.
He lives in Tampa,
Yeah,
Florida?
He lives in Tampa. Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. Look, Cena still lives in Orlando. Cena, my friend, over in
Orlando's
Florida.
great.
Yeah, my
Orlando's
friend
fun.
who co-hosts the wrestling show with me on our wrestling channel, his sister ran into Cena at the fucking Circle K. So it's like, it's so random, but these wrestlers are dudes. They're just regular dudes,
Yeah.
It's
more chill in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
It's definitely more affordable.
100%, especially with the taxes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, we don't have federal tax there.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's just state.
Right.
Wait, or is it the other way
No,
around?
it's no state tax, but
That's it.
federal. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
federal. I was like, wait, which one is which one is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he says he wants to be an actor, and that's his focus. And there's not enough for him to sink his teeth into. And I think he's got every right. He's given us great stuff.
Mhm.
Roll on and keep doing more. And I've said this, I'll reiterate again. I said this back on Movie Talk in 2019. I think Bautista is going to be the first of them, all those wrestlers that came over to win an Oscar. He's the first one that understands what being an actor takes. And I think Rock and Cena are really good at what they do. No complaints, right? Especially Cena in Peacemaker was incredible. Revelation. But Bautista is an actor. He goes to the classes. He studies. He's a different approach. He's not looking to be a movie star. And that's why I think he may be the one that ends up winning that gold trophy before it's all over.
That more longer career?
Yeah, longer career, I think, as well. Because he's really excited to do the Shyamalan film because he's got pages of monologue, which is most he's spoken in any movie.
Well, he's going to be in Dune Part 2.
Yeah, true.
So I'm excited to see more because we only got to see him for like a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got?
Let's talk a little about we talked Marvel, so let's talk DC. And we're going to talk Colin Farrell and the Penguin spinoff that is going to be coming to HBO Max. And the comment that he says is that the Batman was just tip of the iceberg in his exploration for the character.
Yeah.
I loved his portrayal of the Penguin.
Yeah.
If you didn't tell me this was Colin Farrell, if I didn't see his name as a title card or in the credits, I would have till today I would have never known. Sounds different, move obviously, and it's just it's so unexpected, but I love what he did with the Penguin, and I can't wait to see more. It's exactly what I wanted the Penguin to be. So this is very exciting.
Well, I mean, what we just said about Drax, this was the motivation for Colin. Colin said, I did 6 or 7 scenes as Penguin, but I wanted more. So I went to one of the producers and I talked to them about the possibility of exploring the Penguin's backstory more. But you have to bring over the people who did the makeup for the movie. I won't do it unless it's the people who make the makeup for the movie do my makeup for the show. That was part of it because he's like, this guy, I can't remember his name, is Mike something. Mike Marino. Yeah, Mike Marino's work is incredible, he said. And the way he was able to get me into these looks for the character are essential for me doing the series. So there you go. Just like Drax or Bautista wanting more for Drax, Colin wanted more for the Penguin and is getting it, which is why he's sticking around to do a TV series based on the Penguin. So, these actors, they want to just explore. They want to
explore the character. It's such an actor thing. Just but that's what you do. Like when you get sides, you're not just, even for an audition, you're not just going to be like, okay, I'll read the words and the motivation behind it. I think it's this. No, we want to create some sort of backstory. If it's an unknown character, what's their backstory? Like, yes, we make fun of like, what's my motivation? But you do have to think about like what's motivating you to say this line in the way you want to say it. But for something like someone like the Penguin, there's a lot of different layers that he can explore.
Yeah.
And it's not just, that what we really saw, and it makes sense. It really is just tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and what we
feels
saw
like a little punny penguin iceberg.
Also his nose, but what we saw in the Joker with Joaquin, right? I mean, that thing made $1 billion because it explored the character of the Joker a little bit more through that version of the Joker, and people really gravitated. It spoke to people, so we'll see what happens with the series. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. So
right.
of course, you guys stay tuned in to the show. So
Yeah,
when that more news about that, comes out, we'll definitely talk about it on
absolutely.
here. All right, final one in our opening topics here. Let's talk
Okay.
a little hot D drama, hot drama. Oh,
Oh, Wendy, are we doing phrasing? Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
HOTD drama? Yeah, that's what you're talking about. Okay, yes, go ahead. Yes.
I call it hot D over on the movie Couple. HOT.
Yeah, you're going to get me in trouble. Anyway, keep going.
Just a little bit of drama on the
Yeah.
House of Dragon. Miguel, I'm gonna mispronounce his last name. Sapochnik
Yeah, Sapochnik. Yeah.
has left
Yeah.
House of the Dragon after HBO refused to let his wife serve as producer, and that is the headline.
Yeah.
From IndieWire. So Alexis Robin.
Yeah.
Was listed as producer for season 1 and was in 4 episodes, but after that, he has announced he's leaving the series.
Yeah.
But he is going to continue to executive produce the series. So I guess are you really exiting?
He's going to collect a paycheck, but he's not going to really have any
His name's still going to be
input
on
the
the
direction. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess. He did say it was incredibly tough to decide to move on, but I know it's the right choice for me personally and professionally.
Yeah.
But they're also reporting that is because part of the reason is because his wife was not going to be credited for
Well, yeah,
to serve as a producer. Sorry.
Yeah, she was an actress on the show. She was in like 3 or 4 of the episodes, I believe. I think she was the one that ran the brothel. I think that was her, the actress who played that. I think that's her. Don't quote me on it. I think that was her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is initially he said everything that you're supposed to say to have an amicable breakup, right? It's incredibly tough, but it was the right choice for me personally and professionally. But we're getting these reports from Puck, which is this new media startup founded by reporters at the Hollywood Reporter, CNN, and the Atlantic, all coming together to create this. And they are saying that it was motivated by disagreements between him and HBO over his wife and her involvement. She was Talia. Oh, no, she was Talia, the lady in waiting to Allison. Oh, she was Talia. So that was a different character. Okay, my fault. And she is credited as season producer of the show for episode 1. But Sapochnik wanted her included again on the producing team for the show's second season, and HBO refused, saying that she's inexperienced as a producer and whatever. So there was a mediator brought in apparently to de-escalate the situation and see if they could figure this out. But he decided to leave, and he fired his agents at WME before going over to CAA with his wife. So that's a pretty big situation here.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryan Condal, who was the co-showrunner, will now be the main showrunner heading into the second season. And it's a shame because I like Sapochnik, and I know people complain about some dark scenes or whatever. Fuck that. Those episodes are so well directed. He knows how to direct fantastic episodes of Game of Thrones. So it's going to be a shame to lose him for season 2.
Do you think now season 2, the vibe will be maybe a little different because they
we'll
can't?
See if the magic is still there, Wendy. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that's a reason to tune into another reason to turn into season 2 for sure.
Yeah. JB telling me, come on, Rocha, all the cool kids are calling it hot D. Get with the times. Oh, my bad.
I don't know if that's true. I just said it one day because I was looking at it and I was like, oh.
Hot D. But look, I get it. Look, and it feels a little bit like, what do you call that? Like, it's not nepotism, but where you're trying to bring on someone who's your wife or your husband or whatever. And look, that happens in Hollywood all the fucking time.
It does. It's not a new thing.
It's not a new thing in any way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. This may have been a cost-cutting move. This may have been a power struggle. Maybe Condal felt like, she was the Yoko in the room. And so maybe there were just issues there. Not to, to be too negative about Yoko Ono, but maybe in the proverbial sense, they felt that maybe, or figurative sense rather, they felt that he felt she was kind of maybe a Yoko. So they didn't want to go forward with her. So who knows? But he fired his agents, which I think is a really strong move.
Yes.
Over to CAA. Clearly, he felt the agents didn't do enough to help him resolve that situation.
Yeah.
To fight for him. So it's a shame. It's a shame.
Just, excuse me while I leave them this big agency to the next big agency.
Yeah, exactly. And give them my 10% or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there we go. Let's take a quick break and we'll jump into
Yes.
some trending stuff right after this. Yeah, there you go. Little what's
Our
trending.
song's not long enough, but I wanted to run and check my dog to make sure she's not scratching herself.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to go do that? Feel free
Yes,
to go
I'll do that in 2 seconds. I'll come right back.
No worries. See, I hope you all had a wonderful New Year's. I hope you had a great time, great Christmas with your friends and families for sure. I hope you guys were all like re-energized. Everything good?
Everything is okay.
Okay, cool. Great. Awesome.
Just have to check because you never know.
No, true. Very, very true.
Yes.
All right, we got some K-pop corner. What's going on here?
Let's bring it back. 2023. Is this the year that John Rocha goes to a K-pop concert?
Oh my God. Stop.
Is this it?
I look like a dad. I can't show these things.
Yes, you can. There is no age limit on K-pop. There isn't.
I want to wear my flannel shirt tucked into my acid wash jeans.
Do it.
With
Do
my
it.
cap on.
Do it. Nobody's going to judge you.
Please.
Nobody's going to judge you. But hey, let's talk about we potentially will see a brand new girl group emerge from YG this year. YG Entertainment is the same agency that houses popular groups like Blackpink. They were responsible for the success and first generation groups like 21, Big Bang. They also used to house Icon, Treasure, Winner, a bunch of other groups that I am failing to name right now. But the big one right now, everybody knows, Blackpink. So this new girl group, the announcement came on the new year, of this year. And many were speculating like, okay, this is going to be, there have been rumors about a group called BabyMonster. And we're thinking, could this be it? We're not sure because the poster that they revealed that had the silhouettes of the 7 members on there said Next Movement. So I was thinking, I was like, does this mean like YG's announcing their next movement, like the big thing? This is our year. Or like is the group called Next Movement? Because that could be a cool group name as well.
Yeah. Sure.
But it was revealed. It's 7 members and the name is BabyMonster. No one really knows exactly who they are yet. I think some people have figured out some of the members. From what I'm hearing, there are 7 members. 2 are Thai, 2 are Japanese, and 3 are Korean.
Okay.
So I think they're seeing that, like, there's the girls. The success of Blackpink having a couple of international members really helps, when you need to cross over to other countries, to the US.
Right.
Especially that's really helpful. Lisa from Blackpink is Thai, and I think like all of Thailand love Lisa. So whenever I think they're having their concert there either yesterday or today.
Wow.
Blackpink is. So this is the new group.
BabyMonster.
I'm very excited. It's called BabyMonster. YG himself, who I was not expecting to show up in that video that he had just pulled up, he had he's not really the CEO anymore. He had stepped down. There's been some controversies. There's actually a little bit of controversy surrounding this group, which I'll get in a second.
Okay.
But he's actually back on this one because he's going to help with the debut of the girls.
Right.
So that's interesting. And in the video, Jenny and Lisa both made a little cameo saying that Lisa said she's dancing with them, probably training a little bit of mentoring because she would be their senior, saying that the 7 of them, they work well together. Jenny had good things to say. So I'm very curious because and I can't remember who said it. It wasn't YG, but somebody said, you've never heard singers like these in K-pop. And I was like, well, or something like that. That I'm saying it wrong. That's not an exact quote. But I'm very curious because there's Jenny. Oh, actually, it says it right around here. Yeah. But in any case, that's just interesting because YG is known for stage presence, the swag, the powerful movements. You kind of look at that hair whip. It's that's what they're really known for, that cool vibe, right?
Okay.
And I'm not saying that their artists can't sing or can't rap. They really can.
Right.
But when you're thinking vocalist, a lot of the times people think about the company called SM, and that houses a lot of the really fantastic singers
Okay.
when it comes to the K-pop scene. So for him to say that, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's he said it with his whole chest. This person, I was like, okay. And YG at the end said, "Please judge them for the way you see them and hear them."
Okay.
So I was like, all right. But YG does this well. Marketing
Yeah.
a brand new group, they do it really well, right?
Yeah.
If you go back to like 2015 or 2016 when Blackpink was debuting, every single one of their teases prior to the debut was like so awesome. You were already like in love with these girls before you even knew exactly who they were.
Right.
So mysterious, and they build up all this excitement. But then once the girls debut and you give them a couple years, the company doesn't do anything for them anymore. Blackpink's had like 4 comebacks, and
Right.
it's 2023. They should have had so many more albums, so much more music, so much
Yeah.
stuff, and like YG just doesn't. So I'm excited, but I'm worried at the same time because I feel like they waste so much talent over there. Big Bang, 21,
Mm.
Blackpink. Icon just left. They just left YG
Oh wow.
altogether because they're not giving them enough to do. I've
Right.
seen Icon over here in the US like maybe once or twice. I don't understand. You have the fans who are salivating, international
Yeah.
fans who are like, I will go to all these concerts
Right.
for you. I like Zach Mendoza's in the chat. He knows
Oh
this.
yeah.
He gave me a free ticket to camp, but like I willingly went, and I was gonna sit around all day just so I
Yeah.
could see Icon, who couldn't even go because of visa problems. Oh wait, no, Icon did go. Never mind. I think it was just day 1 and I wasn't able to go. I went to day
Yeah.
2. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're YG and you're letting Icon go to camp
Yeah.
when they could have had their own concert. Come on.
Yeah.
So,
It's interesting. Yeah. I guess they just kind of take their time and they think moving people away for a while to make people
mhm.
miss them is good. What leads to more money. And I don't know, it's just an interesting business model. I don't know.
Yeah.
And now they've got a whole new group that they're going to be focusing on.
Yeah.
So they have even less time to promote the other stuff. But I like
Yeah.
the name. I like BabyMonster. It's a nice name.
BabyMonster sounds cute.
Right? Yeah.
They're babies, but they're monsters. Oh, that's the controversy. Not
Yeah.
confirmed.
Okay.
Supposedly,
Okay.
and I'm not saying this is why they named the group BabyMonster.
Right,
Okay,
right.
I'm not saying that. But the word baby reminded me of why I wanted to talk about. Supposedly, some of the members who are debuting are as young as 13.
Oh,
Yeah, it's giving.
okay.
It's giving very young.
Yeah.
Very young. I don't think you should be debuting at 13. I think that, and I don't think this is the first time I've heard of this. I think there was another group, and I can't remember which one. If Zach's in the chat, let me
Yeah.
know. But there's another group that with a member that was like 13.
Wow.
And I feel like you really shouldn't be debuting until you're like at the youngest, maybe 17.
Mm.
I think 11, 12, 13, you should be getting into the training program.
Right.
And then debuting between, honestly, like for me,
Yeah.
18 to like 22 is like a great age to debut.
Mhm.
Just because you would have had a little bit more time to mature you as a person
Yeah.
to
Agreed.
go and face the onslaught of like the crazy fandom that is K-pop. Because like mostly the fans are great, but there are some toxic fans out there. There's some people in the industry that can
Of
be
course.
toxic.
Yeah.
And you think about being an idol and being an artist on stage and what does that mean, right? And thinking about some of the songs and the dance moves. And I'm not trying to be all like prim and proper,
Mm.
but some people sexualize the idols.
Of course. Of course. And so
So when they're 13,
yeah.
that's
Pretty
like gross to me.
I mean, so many people were sexualizing Hermione when Emma Watson was 10, right? When 10, 11, 12, when she was in the Harry Potter movies. You could see
Really?
people,
She's a child.
people had those countdown. There was for a little while in the 2000s, there were those websites that had countdowns to when these teenage actresses or dancers or celebrities turned 18. So they had countdowns on their websites of years and days and minutes and hours and minutes of when they would turn 18. So
That sounds super predatory to me.
it's absolutely predatory, right? And who's
They
running
did
this
that to
website?
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, right. Billy, certainly Billy had.
They did that. They did that
Yeah,
to her, and I didn't
yeah,
like that one
yeah.
bit.
So they have this. I think they probably did it with Britney back in the 90s even. So it's just
Oh
like,
my
it's that,
god, yeah.
right? Britney, I mean, like, yeah, that whole high school thing. I mean, like, look, her
So gross.
management
Oh, she's 18. I was like, okay, and
yeah, exactly. Her management team understood the situation and they played it out that way. And so, yeah, it's different. Yeah, you're looking at ABC Crisscross. That's something completely different because those are all little male kids. It's a different situation. The society is predominantly male and is predatory. 99%, I would 95%. I don't have actual statistics. The predatory nature is male. So when you're seeing young girls get put into these outfits and dancing around in the way they're dancing, and look, I think women have every right, and young girls have every right to pursue their dreams.
Yes.
But you can't ignore, if you're the management team,
You gotta
the
protect
predatory
them.
nature of fandom. Because there are old men who go to these K-pop concerts and they're not going to just dance to the music,
They straight up, there was one, I can't remember what group it was. And
Mhm.
they're older. They're
Yeah.
not like 13, debuting or anything like that. But some fans somehow slipped through. I think this happened in South Korea.
Mm.
Some fans somehow slipped through all the security,
Yeah.
went on stage during this group's, I want to say it was Red Velvet
Oh, shit.
or maybe the Wonder Girls. Maybe that's too long ago, but
Mhm.
grabbed one of the members' arm and literally tried to like kidnap her off the stage.
Right.
And it took way too long. If you watch that video, it took way too long for anybody to jump into action. Her members held onto her before any of the security walked in. I was like, "Hello,
Yeah.
do something."
I mean, read up on the Aaliyah stuff,
Yeah.
for people who are watching.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff with her before she became of age. So, and
yeah.
certainly we're seeing the R. Kelly stuff come out of a lot of young women subjected to torment by him who were in their teens. So, it's an unfortunate part of things, but hopefully you've got a good management team. Hopefully their management team is like on top of that kind of stuff and making sure keeping them away. Because they can act like they're totally all about it at 13, 14, 15 and have no problems with it. But you don't know how that's going to scar you when you're 30 or 40 or in your even late 20s when you're pretty much done being in K-pop a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And so we don't know because like right now, yesterday or 2 days ago, the two actors from Franco Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet, I can't remember the guy's name, but Olivia Hussey is the actors. They had a nude scene in the movie.
That prominent one?
What's that?
That prominent one?
Yeah, from the 1960s. And now they're suing the studio for $500 million for damage and mental damage, emotional damage.
Did they not have like an intimacy coach on set for that?
Not in the 60s? No. Fuck no. And they both claimed that Franco Zeffirelli told them that they were not going to be nude and that the day of the shoot, he kind of encouraged them to be nude, but that he was never going to use the footage, but then he used the footage. And so now they're suing after all these.
Betrayal.
Yeah, exactly. Because
you got to protect these, you got to, like make your money and yes, let them perform, but you have to find ways to protect them.
Exactly.
Especially now. You can't be like, oh, I didn't know. Like the internet, Google is free.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah, you can't. So hopefully my speculation about what I'm hearing about how young these groups are, hopefully it's incorrect. I would like them all to be a little bit older. Like I'm going to look it up real quick for Blackpink, how old they were when they debuted. And speaking of Blackpink, they're going to headline Coachella this year.
Oh, wow.
Again,
That's
second
awesome.
time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they did it in 2019 as well.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Okay, how old were Blackpink when they debuted? Okay, see? Each Blackpink member was over 18 years old. The two youngest, Lisa and Rosé, were 19 years old. Jennie was 20, and Jisoo, the oldest in the group, was 21. I think that's a great age to debut.
Yeah. I agree with this as well. That's when you're supposed
for male and female groups alike.
Yeah. So you can be aware of what's happening. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have a little bit more control over just more a little bit of like you've experienced a little bit more of like 13, 14 is very young. I feel like you're super impressionable.
Yeah.
Because not because you're naive, right? You can't call them naive because they haven't had the chance to experience it. That's
Right.
not their fault.
Right.
So,
No, very true.
anyways.
Very true.
And then one last K-pop thing. I'm super excited for
Yeah.
this. We were just talking about Big Bang, one of the first boy groups, I think, from early, very successful boy groups from YG.
Yeah.
One of its members, Taeyang, has dropped a teaser image for his upcoming single called
Okay.
Vibe, and he's doing a collab with a very popular K-pop artist, Jimin from BTS.
Wow.
Yeah, that is huge. So that is a picture of Taeyang,
Yeah.
who is my bias in Big Bang for any VIPs out there. VIP is the fandom name for Big Bang. So
Okay.
I'm super excited. It's coming out in a little bit, in like a week or so. Honestly, like K-pop fans, being a multi-stan, we call this ourselves multi-stans. If you
Yeah.
are a fan of multiple groups, it is so exhausting and it is so expensive. Like, I had finished purchasing my tickets for Stray Kids,
Yeah.
and then my friend's like, "Hey, Epic High's coming to town. You want to buy?" This was like not even 2 days later. Or like, Mamamoo is coming back in town. I'm like, "Y'all, I don't have the money for this. Like, I can't keep buying concert tickets."
And you want to introduce me into this addiction? No, thanks.
Just pick one group. Pick one. Pick
All
one.
right, I'll pick one.
BTS
It's probably Blackpink.
in your area.
All right, one last thing here in what's trending. What are we jumping into here, Wendy? One last thing.
All right, let's take a look. So let's talk about our old stomping ground, Universal Studios. They're getting ready to open Super Nintendo World at Universal Studios in the lower lot, just right next to the entrance will be right next to where Transformers is going to be. So that area is about to get super crowded, because that area gets crowded already, kind of bottlenecks a little bit.
Yeah.
So if you're staring at, if you're in the lower lot and you're looking at the Transformers ride, the entrance, it's to the left of you is where Super Nintendo World's going to be. So what they're doing right now is they have a pre-sale system for Super Nintendo World. And I believe they also have like a reservation system for pass holders who can reserve a limited amount of time, kind of what they did with Galaxy's Edge when it was first opening, like a little raffle, you can go in. And this has been highly anticipated. So many Nintendo fans out there. This has already opened in Japan. It's quite popular over there, so naturally it's going to be very popular over here. Especially, it's been a while since Universal Studios Hollywood got a new edition anything. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
So people are gonna be throwing some elbows to want to get into this. Fans want it so bad that they crashed the website.
Yeah.
No surprise.
No surprise.
Yeah.
Wow.
No surprise at all.
Great.
Yeah, it looks great. They're only going to have one ride in there so far. Japan has two. There's the Yoshi ride. It's a little bit slower. But we're going to get the main attraction that's going to be housed inside Bowser's Castle. And it's the AR Mario Kart ride. And there's like little guys moving around. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And you know, it's going to be super interactive too.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? Right here, this is where I used to park and go and grab lunch and just look out on the lot. So sometimes in between shows, or if I got there too early.
Is that the overflow parking?
Yeah, that's overflow parking. I would just sneak over there. And so now to know that this is all there, my God, because it was not much at all.
Well, they took down some sound stages to build
it was just sound stages. So
yeah.
Jesus, man. Wow. Yeah. This looks great.
I'm very excited. I can't wait to visit. Yeah. It's going to be super interactive. They're going to sell these power bands, and they have interactive things throughout that land, like little coin blocks that you can hit, and it gives you like the digital, like it syncs up with your app, little coins that you can spin in app to buy a little digital, whatever.
That's great.
Whatever things. I'm super excited, and I just think it's hilarious that that kind of gives you a preview of how insane and popular that's going to be. The fact that it crashed the website.
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights doesn't even crash the website.
No. Oh my God. Yeah. Super Nintendo World. People are going to come from all over the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's going to be nuts.
I'm so excited.
Oh, maybe I can talk my way into an early screening. We'll see.
You know people.
I do.
You know they're going to do employee.
There's got to be a friends and family night, right? There's got to be a friends and family night.
Yeah, they'll do one for sure. For sure.
Okay, let's take one more quick break, and then we'll jump into all the things that we're looking forward to and that are coming out here in the next week. We'll be right back right after this. All right. For those of you new to the show, I do those breaks for the podcast feed because that's where I can put the ad breaks. So you'll excuse
Smart.
me that we put something there for a little bit. All right. Wendy, let's finish this up. What do we got here?
Let's talk about coming soon. What
Yeah.
are you looking forward to seeing in the month of January?
In the month of January?
Yeah.
As I said, Poker Face, which is the Natasha Lyonne one. I'm very much looking forward to that one on Peacock. She's a detective, and it's Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
Who is doing it. Apparently, some people have already gotten screeners for this. So I got to shake a few trees over the weekend to see if I get me a screener for it next week.
Yeah.
That's one of my micro goals this year is to make stronger contacts with publicists and studios so I can get these things early. Right now, I've got some contacts. I need to have much more established contacts because the channel is growing. And so I've got cachet to hopefully be able to convince them to do that. We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
I guiltily am looking forward to Plane, which is coming out next week with Gerard Butler, because I love Gerard Butler and his. Oh, I've seen every one of his movies that he's released in the theater. I have. I don't know why. I just like him. I saw Hunter Killer. I saw Den of Thieves. I've seen all these films of his that he's done recently, where he's kind of become the lead in these.
Did you the revenge one?
Yeah. These B movie films. He's done a great job for it. I'm kind of looking forward to Alice Darling, the Anna Kendrick one as well, that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's in an abusive relationship, and
right.
Yumi Musakura from Loki is in it, playing one of her friends.
Ooh.
So very curious from the trailer because that's something dramatic that she rarely does. So I'm very curious to see what Anna Kendrick is going to bring that, because usually Anna's the one that people want to be with in the movie, that she has the upper hand most of the time. So seeing a film like this where she's being controlled in an abusive relationship, I think is an incredible challenge.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to see from her as an actress in that? So I'm looking forward to that. What about you?
I'm looking forward to The Last of Us.
Oh yeah, right.
Really looking forward to it. Because like Dustin and I really haven't gotten the chance to play the game yet. And I was like, you know what? This is the perfect opportunity to wait to play, see how the show is gonna do it.
Right.
And then play the game so I can compare the difference.
Yeah.
That way, if the game's much better, I'm not gonna be disappointed.
Well, people love the game.
No, sorry. If the show is not as good as the game, won't be disappointed because I can play the game after. Sorry, I said that backwards.
No worries. No worries. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then let's talk about some recommendations and some reviews. You and I both saw Megan. You texted me before you saw Megan.
I did.
To kind of gauge. And I told you I think you'd have a fun time with it. It is PG-13. Yeah. It's not as gory as some of the other horror movies, but the elements are still, it's like horror light.
Yeah.
With a lot of comedy. And it looked like you enjoyed it. I watched your out of the theater reaction.
Oh, thank you. I had a blast.
Yeah.
I rarely record right as soon as I walk out, but that one just felt like, okay, let's do it right here. Usually I'll go to a quieter area around the mall there where I do most of the screenings. This, I was just like, I'm just going to walk out and turn the damn thing on, and people can look weird at me if they want, but because I just had such a great time. And you're right. I kind of had to be talked into going to see it because I was like, oh, is it really that important? Is it going to be that big of a deal? But you said you liked it. Menzel said he liked it. So I was like, all right, I'll go see this thing. And so I went over and I just had a wonderful time. It was a full theater, unfortunately, but
wow,
I still had a great time watching it, laughed along with it, had my issues with it, and enjoyed the horror of it all. Plus the AI. Oh my gosh, nothing I fear more than AI.
Your Alexa's going to wake up in the middle of the night and talk to you.
I mean, I always get afraid of that kind of stuff. And people always are like, oh, no, it's never going to, it's never going to happen, right? They put two computers together and gave them a language to talk. And they started creating a separate language to communicate with each other that the humans did not know about.
That's
and
horrifying.
They had to pull the plug on both of those computers because they were going to create their own language.
Yeah, that's how Skynet starts, guys. That's Skynet.
Everybody who's supposedly intelligent trying to tell me it's never going to happen and there's no way it can happen. You all have no fucking idea because you're all human beings. You have no idea how a computer thinks. and a computer will absolutely create this kind of thing and destroy us all. I'm just telling you right now. So Megan works in that vein, and it scared the shit out of me in so many ways.
Yes.
But it also made me laugh my ass off. So it was good. It's really good.
I really liked it. It's got like, I think 94, 95% right now from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, I wasn't even expecting to have that much fun in it. And I sat down and watched. I was like, all right, here we go, but I liked the trailer enough to like want to go and see. I was very curious about it. And I thought it was really well done for what it was.
Yeah, plus Allison Williams is kind of like a ringer for you because, of course, she was in Get Out. So, like, when she does horror, she picks good ones to be a part of, And look, I like the fact that she's not necessarily a good person. And I like that that's an element of this. And it's a nice layer to throw on top of a horror film like this. So,
I like that a lot. And I like the actresses who work together to bring Megan to life.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Ooh, they had another film. She had another film called Housebound, the director. Oh, okay.
All right.
I'll take a look because I like that Megan film as well.
Very nice.
What else? Is there anything else you've seen?
I'm caught up with Singles Infernal on Netflix. You gotta watch it.
What is that?
Okay,
is it an anime?
It's unscripted. You don't have to do that for every unscripted. Like when they say it's unscripted, I'm like, okay, fine, it's unscripted but produced. You know how those reality shows go.
Oh yeah, please.
It's a dating reality show. It's a Korean show, so you have to read the subtitles.
What?
There's one season already, so if you want to watch that fully, you can. But season 2 is happening right now, and they take a person who is single. They're all attractive. They all look like they could.
What's it called again?
Singles Infernal.
Okay.
You got to watch it. They're digestible. They're not as like dramatic as like Love is Blind because it's a South Korean show, right? So they're a little bit more
dramatic. So it's,
think Love is Blind Japan, but dialed up. The sexiness is dialed up just a little bit.
Okay.
So they're still kind of like respectful and stuff like that, but it's different. So they have these men and women who are on a very small island. It's almost like slight Survivor style where they have to do challenges, and they usually do like the guys do a challenge, the girls do a challenge, and they take in consideration of like what the women, like no one's really gonna get, especially when the women do the physical challenge, they're making sure that the women don't get hurt. So it's usually a little bit lighter. For the men, it's usually a little bit more physically demanding. But they do have to like, and they make it super aesthetic, but they do have to cook their own food. They have to fetch their own water, and it's all just set up so that you can see who groups up to go and fetch the water or go to this and go to that. So essentially, they're on the island that is called Inferno. You're supposed to get to know each other, and what you cannot talk about is what you do as a career, or if you're a student, and anything about you or your age. You can talk about anything else, but you can't talk about what you do or your age.
Wow.
So that's kind of mysterious. So you're really not thinking about, you're getting to know the person without thinking, oh, he's a doctor.
Right.
He's a rocket scientist or he's, I don't know, designer, model, right? Whatever. So there's none of that pressure. And they get opportunities to go to get off the island, and they go to quote unquote paradise, which is just like a large fancy hotel. They get to live the sweet life for like a day. But the catch, especially at the beginning of the show, is you can only go to paradise if that person that you picked also picks you.
Oh, wow.
So you get to see, like, especially in season 2, like all the women voted for only 2 men, and all the other men were just like, okay, so we're all stuck. And it's the same women who keep going to paradise because they're the ones that are the most. And halfway through the show, they introduce someone new.
Wow.
And this one dude that came and just threw everything, like, they even told him, they're like, when you came, everything changed. They just straight up told him that. Like, all the girls that we had chances with, all of a sudden, all they have is eyes for you. You got to watch it. It's so good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Watch season 1. Watch season 1 first.
I like it. All right. I'm down. I'm going to watch that thing.
And then we can talk about it. We can talk about that, and we can talk about whenever they do Love is Blind season 4.
Oh, my God.
We'll do a recap show.
I'm still not over that reunion. I'll never be over that reunion, man. I'll never, especially because she is doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on it. on her social media. And I got to get off. So I should not look at her social media because it drives me insane.
Who?
It drives me insane. What's her face's social media? The girl who screwed over poor Joe.
Oh, you got to stop looking at it.
She's, oh my God. Anyway, so here's the recommendations. I said Will Trent. The first episode is up on Hulu now. Highly recommended. It's actually really good as a kind of offbeat type of detective story. This is a guy who grew up in a orphanage and becomes a detective in his town, and he's working for the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. And he has people who used to know him working for other parts of the city. So it becomes a thing. So that's part of it. Plus he adopts a Chihuahua, and Helena Christensen is in it as well, who I haven't seen in a long time. And so she comes in, and she's older now. So, she's wearing it well. And I like her as an element of the show. The Lady Outlaw talked me into watching it last night. I actually enjoyed it.
Nice.
We're also working our way through Loot, the Maya Rudolph one. It is so good. It's not groundbreaking or changing your life, but it is funny. It is sweet, and it's got a very good cast. And so we're 6 episodes into that one. We ripped through Slow Horses, seasons 1 and 2. Cannot recommend that enough. So fucking good on Apple TV.
Good.
See that. And Bad Batch just started up again as well. Yes. So the first 2 episodes we reviewed yesterday. It's up now on the channel with the Geek Buddies, and had a good time breaking those 2 episodes down. So good. Yeah, a lot of good stuff. And look, did you enjoy your break? Because it's fucking over. And there's so much now coming.
Get ready.
Already, I'm like stressing out about content every day. So we're back into the grind of the YouTube channels, for God's sake.
Let's go.
So yeah, let's go. That's right.
Hey, did you like episode 7 of Willow?
The Shattered Sea one?
Uh-huh.
I liked elements of it, and I liked parts of it.
Uh-huh.
Some of the acting didn't 100% get there, but overall, I like these last 2 episodes. Yes. And
wait, have you seen the finale already?
No.
Not yet, right? Okay.
No, I didn't see the finale.
Episode 7 is I think my favorite by far.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. At first I thought they started pretty good with episodes 1 and 2. 1 was better than 2 in my opinion.
Yeah.
But then 3, 4, 5, 6, I was like, oh no, what's happening?
You didn't like 6 Inside the Mountain? You didn't like the trolls and Slater?
I liked Slater. I liked Christian Slater. I am bummed that he potentially is not returning for another episode.
He might be? Okay.
Well, I mean, we didn't see a
body
confirmed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I think well, I don't know if he's just gonna randomly show up in Memorial City. Because I think there's a specific way to get there.
Yeah, right.
But it'd be really badass if he did, because I liked his character so much, and I didn't get enough time with him. But no, I didn't really like any of those. I mean, they were okay. There were elements of it I liked.
Right.
In those episodes, but 7, I thought, with the arcs for Alora and Kit, especially, like those 2 needed it a lot, and even with Willow, having some of that vision with about his daughter, and then just coming clean and saying what he said about himself, like finally when he was all mad when Saoirse said it to him,
right,
in that flashback, and I was like, oh yeah, he should be mad at her, and then he comes to terms with it, and I was like, this is huge. I would have liked to see this like build up, like all crammed into one episode.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Versus, and I think there's a reason why some of my favorite characters are like Borman, Graydon, and Jade, because their arcs and development was sprinkled evenly throughout.
Yeah.
From Graydon with his like childhood.
I like Graydon.
He's like my fave. Him and Borman.
Oh yeah, Borman, of course.
Borman's naturally so funny.
I mean, Graydon having that healthy moment where he was just like, I love you, but I know you love him, and that's cool. But loving you made me a better person, so I'm just gonna be okay with that from now on. I was like, wow.
And he's not gonna marry kids, so it's like, what's Graydon going? He's gonna go on his own adventure as a wizard, calling it.
He's got to end up with Laura Dannon, right?
I would like. They seem so to fit together so well.
Especially with Eric having made the decision that he does at the end of episode 7. So
yeah, but she was doing some weird Jedi mind trick stuff on him.
I mean, she's pretty gorgeous. I would have fallen for that Jedi.
I don't think she's who she says she is. I think she's crone.
Yeah, everyone thinks she's the Chrome. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
She's totally the Chrome.
Yeah.
But it's the actress. That actress was one of the Sand sisters.
Gorgeous. Yes.
So.
Yes. Yeah. She's gorgeous. I mean, they're all pretty. If you take a second, if you look at
the 100% fair point. Yes.
They're all pretty.
They're all going to paradise.
I want you to watch the show so badly. We have to FaceTime when you're watching or something.
If she's not into it, I'm going to watch it on my own solo here in the office for sure.
Does she like foreign shows? Is she okay with foreign shows?
Yeah. Oh, totally. We've watched stuff from like Iceland and Dutch stuff. Yeah. We like to watch like Nordic shit all the time. So yeah.
The vibe is different, and you're just like, wait, I'm into it. Sometimes it's like it's usually better than American.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, let's wrap it up there. We're 90 minutes. Thank you all so much for joining us. We appreciate you all hanging out with us. We had 70 to 80 of you for a majority of the show, so thank you very much. Please make sure you hit a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. I have a vision, a goal to hit 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Doubling what I have now. Whatever I need to do, I'm going to do to get to those 50,000 subscribers. So that is my goal in 2023, overall goal. Will I get there? Who knows? But I'm going to do my damnedest. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate you subscribing and hitting that bell button for sure. Leaving a comment down below for those of you watching later, and hit a like on this video. Wendy, another fun episode. Great to see you again in the new year here in 2023. Please let people know where they can find you and everything got going on.
This was so fun. I've missed it. You can find me on The Movie Couple, doing all the things. We've got reactions for the Bad Batch episodes 1 and 2. That's dropping in a little bit because I still have to edit episode 2. We got a reaction for Plane coming to the channel. Yeah, we filmed that the other day. Just haven't edited it yet. And
wait, you got a link for Plane? Is that how you did a reaction, or did you react after
the trailer? The trailer, just the trailer.
Oh, the trailer. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I should do. Well, movie reactions are hard because it takes a long time.
It does,
which is why I don't like to do those, and I haven't done one. I don't think I will. But show reactions, I am down to do.
Gotcha.
And that's what you will find on the channel this year, as well as some other fresher, different content coming. So subscribe to The Movie Couple.
There you go. I already gave you my pitch. So just follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And for those of you who may be part of the Venn diagram that crosses over into pro wrestling or sports, about a month ago, I started the Game Time Sports channel. It's his own YouTube channel, and the Strong Style channel, which is its own YouTube channel. So all my sports and wrestling stuff operating and living on 2 separate channels now on YouTube. So go and subscribe to them as well if you enjoy the show I do with Winston every Monday, and the wrestling show I do with Aaron and Chris on Saturday that I used to do here on the channel on Saturdays. It is now living on its own YouTube channel. So go and subscribe there. I'd really appreciate it. All right, that's it from us. Y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a great weekend. Rest and relax. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new live episode of the John and Wendy Show. Peace.